Afternoon everybody, how are we doing? I am currently on my way to North Walsham on the A140 and it's an absolutely wonderful day. It really is very nice indeed, and it's very hot. It's 23.5 degrees, which is both good and bad, because it's good that it's nice and hot, but it's bad because when I checked the weather last night it said it was going to be cloudy up to something like 17 degrees or something, and I thought, well, if it's going to be cloudy it's going to feel a bit cooler than it would be if it wasn't cloudy, and I'll put my trousers on. Well, that was a big mistake. Kind of wish I had me
in 2 miles, take
me shorts on. Never mind, not much I can do about that, but anyway, hope you're doing okay. I haven't really had a chance to record, to be honest, today. It's Monday today, and it's, what time is it? It is 5 minutes to 2 in the afternoon, so yeah, it's been quite a busy morning really. I was in Norwich first thing this morning, and they've shut one of the major roads that I normally use to get in and out of Norwich, and I'd forgotten that that road was closed, so I inadvertently went that way, and yeah, wished I hadn't. So I really was sort of queuing in traffic for 20 minutes, half an hour. Traffic lights were only letting 3 or 4 cars go and then turning red again for like 2 minutes. So yeah, it was not fun this morning, but as I say, I'm heading out to North Walsham now, and I do like the roads out to North Walsham. It's really nice. Going to be there in just over 10 minutes. So
in 1 mile, take 3rd exit at roundabout.
So yeah, just thought I'd bring you along with me since the weather is absolutely glorious. So yeah, plenty to be excited about, and I've got a bit of a story for you as well. Well, not really a story, but something happened on Friday. I was planning to do a video Friday, but unfortunately things went a bit Pete on, let's just say that. I'll tell you about it a little bit later, probably when I'm on my way back to the yard. But yeah, you'll probably find it absolutely hilarious and horrifying at the same time, so make sure you stick around for that one. And yeah, that's it really. Just going to make my way over to North Walsham.
In 500 yards.
In 500 yards.
3rd exit at roundabout.
Okay, I will. So yeah, I hope you'll join me in a few minutes when we get a bit closer. Where am I going? I haven't even told where I'm going yet. I'm actually going to Waitrose. I've got some pallets of crisps and toilet roll and stuff like that, so I'm going to head over there and drop those off to them, as I'm sure they need them. Where are you going? You're not indicating, so I assume we're going straight on. Yes, you are.
Take 3rd exit at roundabout.
I don't even see that view, but that looks very nice. I was up at Sheringham the other day. That was absolutely wonderful. Sheringham and Holt and around that area, and it was absolutely wonderful. That was a day like today, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. That was really quite nice to kind of get away from the city for a change. I prefer it out in the country anyway.
500 yards, take 2nd exit at roundabout.
Why is it every time I talk to you, the sat-nav decides it wants to talk to you instead? I know you're trying to be helpful, Mr. Sat-Nav, but you don't need to tell me 3 times the direction.
Take 2nd exit at roundabout.
You really are rude, aren't you? I must remember to mute you when I'm recording. Oh dear. Starbucks. Hands up if you want Starbucks.
Take 2nd exit at roundabout.
Drive-thru. Yeah, I don't think we're going through the drive-thru in this. Anyway, I will see you guys in a couple of minutes.
sound, back to the sound.
Hi guys, welcome back. I've just dropped at Waitrose and I'm just heading into North Walsham on my way to
500 yards.
Coltishall.
Turn right.
You know what? You're going to shut up. Sat nav. Turn you down a bit. There we go. So yeah, I'm just heading to North Walsham because I'm on my way to Coltishall. No, you're not gonna let me through, no? Okay. So just thought I'd show you North Walsham because we don't come to North Walsham that often, although I was here last week. I delivered to Roy's in North Walsham, which is a local shop to Norfolk. They remind me a little bit of Morrison's, but they've only got 2 or 3 shops. But the main one is in Wroxham or Hoveton, which is their biggest one because they've got 2 shops there, and I would actually call them shopping centres because I've just gone the wrong way. Yeah, they're like shopping centres because they got one which is like the food hall that they call it, and the other side is very reminiscent of a what do you call it? Department store. It's very much geared towards holiday makers and the older generation, or at least it was the last time I went in there. They got some good bits, you know. There's a quite a large cooking section where you buy saucepans and things like that. They've got a small TV section, you know, things like that. Nothing too exciting. Just you know, handy to go do a bit of shopping on Saturday or whatever. So I'm going to be very naughty and do a spinny here. Don't normally do things like that, but if not, I'll be driving for miles. There we go. So yeah, we're going to Coltishall now, which is quite a nice little place. It's not very big, very much a little village, I suppose. But yeah, it's quite a nice little place. Thought I'd bring you along for the ride, and then once we've dropped at Coltishall, I'll start the camera again and talk about the little story I had on Friday. Had a bit of fun. So yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm getting hot now. And that Waitrose place I've just been to, that's quite it's Waitrose in North Walsham, and if you know North Walsham, that Waitrose is probably one of their biggest in the area. Although to be fair, the one in Bury St Edmunds is quite a size. That's kind of like a Tesco's, you know, quite a big Tesco's sort of size. And the one in Norwich is, I don't know, there's probably a couple in Norwich. But yeah, that one there is, well, I just delivered to, is quite a big one. And the thing is with Waitrose, something I've picked up on actually, to be honest, is that it doesn't matter what the size of the shop is, but their delivery area is absolutely tiny, which is a real shame because they have so many vans. I mean, you think that Waitrose probably have just as many vans as places like Asda and Tesco's, but their delivery yard, the goods in yards and where they store the vans and that kind of stuff, is just tiny compared to the size of the store. You know, I mean, for for a small store like the one at I don't know, I suppose the one at Eton in Norwich, that's probably about the right size for that sort of shop, because I mean it's not a big shop, but yeah, that one I've just been to is absolutely mental. There was a Class 1 Waitrose truck sat there, and I was talking to the driver. I said, how long are you going to be? He went 45 minutes. So I was like, oh no, that's no good. He was like, yeah. He said, can I stick it on brake? And they said, yeah. So I did. I was like, oh, okay. Thinking I'm going to have to ring the office and let them know I'm going to be late. And then a couple of vans actually pulled out of the yard. So that gave me just enough room to squeeze my truck in, shall we say, and managed to tip my 3 pallets, so I'm happy. I've got 1 pallet left on board and it's now 10 to 3, so we should be back in the yard by quite a respectable time, to be fair. And it looks like my exhaust temperature light has just come on. Probably because we're sat still, to be fair. Oh, it's nearly 25 degrees out there. I mean, that is hot. I've got the windows closed to talk to you and I'm sweating. There you go, it's gone off now. So yeah, that was quite an interesting little drop, to be honest. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing with regards to hate lane departure systems. Exactly what I'm doing with regards to where I'm putting the camera and stuff. I was looking in here earlier on, and that's really hard to kind of mount the camera somewhere. I'm gonna have to try and figure something out, because I don't want to keep pointing you at me and the road, or me or the road, shall I say. It's one or the other at the moment. Whereas I'd like to mount the camera kind of at the back of the cab, or off to the passenger side slightly, so that you can see me and the road. It's not possible at the moment because of the mount I've got and what the truck is. So there's a couple of little hooks up there that, you know, you put your hard hat on and stuff like that, but they're a bit high, and to be honest, if I did do that, I haven't really got the right angle on the mount to sort of face in the right direction, and to be fair, they're quite high, so they're not really ideal. If I put my extension on it, I should imagine the camera will start shaking around and probably fall off. So yeah, I've got to come up with something better. So if any of you guys have a GoPro and you've got any ideas, give me a shout, because I'm still trying to figure it all out. So yeah, and it wasn't so bad in the MAN because I had a few more places to put that, but I've only driven that for when I was covering the one of the guys back in the yard. He was on holiday. That's the MAN where I was doing the nights. So yeah, it's not ideal, but there's not much I can do about it at this moment in time. Never mind. Anyway, I've got about 10 minutes before I be there, so I'll either catch you when I get there, or we'll do a little bit of time lapse. So we'll have to get a bit windy around these bits, so maybe I'll do a time lapse. How's that? I'll see you guys in a second.
Back to the sound, back to the sound.
way home now, and I promised you earlier on in the video that I was going to tell you about what happened on Friday, and that was quite an interesting day, I have to say. On average, I guess we deliver probably, I mean, the lorry I've got, or the one I've had the last few days, has been, I'd say just under an 18 tonner, but it can probably fit about 8 pallets on it. Not many, maybe 10. And so obviously, you know, I'm doing mostly local deliveries, so I can deliver anything from up to probably, what is this guy doing? Just had a class 1 transporter truck pull out of a lay-by into live traffic, almost, pretty much. I mean, that isn't a very good thing to do. I mean, pulling out into live traffic is bad enough, but when you're in a class 1 that takes probably half a mile to get up to speed, that's not very clever. Anyway, now that I've dealt with that distraction, yeah, so in an average day we probably deliver locally, I'd say 16 pallets, maybe a bit more. Depends on the day really and how far you got to go. But and on Friday I delivered 8 pallets. So in the morning I went to Waitrose in Eton, which is just it's on the outskirts of Norwich. Not too far away. It takes about 15 minutes to get to with all the traffic and that. And I think it was another drop or two, something like that. So there wasn't many. So anyway, I then get reloaded back at the yards. I've got 4 pallets on board, right? They're all pretty heavy pallets, so we stick them all down the middle. There's 4 drops, 1 drop per pallet. Simple enough, nice and easy. Not too far away. Pretty much a doddle, to be honest. My first drop was at B&M on the ring road in Norwich, and that was that pallet. I put the pump truck under the pallet. My plan was to squish the wheels at the front of the pallet truck between the slats on the middle of the pallet, right? And because they're heavy pallets, I thought, well, you know, the pump truck isn't going to go anywhere. Did the same thing today, you know, on all the pallets, didn't move an inch. So, you know, it's perfectly a good solution. Just, you know, on Friday, however, I must have missed a slat and raised the pallet off the bed by about 2 centimetres. From where I was standing, didn't look like it was off the floor. Tried to move it, didn't move. I thought that's good enough. Shut the back door, popped the sat nav in, and off I went. Bearing in mind that this is probably, my first drop is probably 2.1 miles from the yard, so it isn't very far away. There's about 3 roundabouts and a few traffic lights. I mean, it's just literally around the ring road a little bit. It's not far away. So anyway, get to my first drop. On the way, I hear a bit of banging about in the back. I'm like, sounds like the pump truck's moved. Every time I accelerated, obviously hit the back doors. Every time I was braking, it would hit the headboard. Also, I thought, well, not the headboard, but the pallet in front. I thought, you know, I mean, you have to understand that between the back pallet, the 4th pallet, and the back door, you're probably talking 1 or 2 pallets at most. You might not even be able to fit 2 pallets there. Probably 2 pallets, but anyway, there isn't much room, is what I'm saying. So it turns out, I get to B&M, pull up outside their goods indoor, and opened the back door. And my heart hit the floor quicker than a sack of spuds. Because that pallet that was moving around in the back was a pallet full of paint. 5 litre tubs, 10 litre tubs, half a litre tubs. We're talking emulsion of various different colours. I mean, all in all, there was probably 140 tins of paint on there. So quite a few. And about 8 of them decided to spill their guts all over the back of the truck on the bed. So what happened, and obviously what happened when we were loading it, the forklift guy that was loading me, he actually put some extra wrap on this paint pallet, so he knew it was a bit dodgy anyway. It was wrapped to the bottom, but it was very loose. I mean, it wasn't fabulous. I mean, there was a lot of weight there. I mean, it wouldn't have gone anywhere if the pump truck wasn't underneath it. Let's just put it like that, right? Not unless I was going around corners badly. So yeah, I spent 3 hours clearing up the mess that I created in the back of the truck, and got covered completely head to toe in paint. I'll put a picture on the screen now of the disaster, and you can see in that picture that in the middle, obviously the pallet was moving with the pump truck, and of course what happened was a lot of the paint had stayed together in the wrap, in the shrink wrap, and was sort of in a pile in the middle of the floor. So most of the paint was contained, except there was another 2 or 3 tins of paint underneath that pile that you can see in the picture, that had split open, and either split open or gone upside down and the lids come off and things like that. So yeah, that's my first mistake that I made since I've been driving. You know, it happens. I was a bit well, put it like this, I said a number of choice words. Let's just leave it there. On more than one occasion throughout the 3 hours, there was many words coming out of my mouth that will never be repeated until next time. But yeah, that was not good. I actually phoned the yard and I said, I've had a few tins of paint explode all over the back of the truck. And he went, what do you mean explode? I said, it looks like the pump truck's moved and it's squashed a load of paint that's all over the bed, all over the back of the truck. I said, I've got to clear it up. I said, I'm going to be a little while. He's like, okay. I was like, do you want me to come back to the yard when I'm finished? He was like, yep. I was like, alright. Oh no, might be in trouble now. Bearing in mind, I'm an agency driver, so, you know, if I do something wrong, they can say, nah, don't wait tomorrow, see you later. There's no contract in place or anything like that. It's literally, I'm working day by day, week by week. So it's usually week by week, but they're well within their rights to say to me, off you go, don't want you back tomorrow. You know, which is bad for me, because A, I don't get paid, and B, it looks bad. You know, I need the experience at the moment. So after about, I don't know, 15 minutes of trying to clear it up with toilet roll, I then decided it would be a good idea to bring the agency and say, look, you know, this is what's happened. You know, because obviously by that time I'd sort of realised the extent of the problem, all the damage and how much work there was to try and clear it all up. And I thought, I'm going to be here a lot longer than an hour. I mean, there's a lot of paint to clear up, and you know, it takes a little while to clear paint, believe it or not. You know, 5 litre tub of paint can take quite a while to clear up. So I phoned the agency and said, look, this is what's happened. I said, I'm a little bit worried. I said, you might have to find me some work next week. And she said, what's happened? I said, some paint's gone over the back of the truck. I said, absolutely everywhere. So I'm going to be here quite a while. She's like, all right, let me ring the company, speak to the boss and let them know what's happened, make sure everything's all right. I said, yeah. I said, let them know I'm going to be here quite a while. She said, no worries. So anyway, she rings me back about 5 minutes later. She goes, yeah, boss said it's all right. He asked what colour it was, and I hoped it was a nice pastel colour. So at that point I thought, I'm all right, I probably got away with it. So yeah, so that wasn't very fun. And then I will say one thing, the staff, the warehouse staff at B&M were absolutely brilliant. They gave me all the paper towels and dustbin and bin bags that I needed to clear everything up, and they even gave me a bottle of water as well. So kudos to you guys if you're watching. I do appreciate it. That was very helpful indeed. So yeah, so after I cleared all that up, I went back to the yard and wrap the, because obviously of course what I had to do was move pretty much every single paint in, and try and clean up the ones that were covered in paint but still sealed. So obviously they're still okay, but you know, I mean, obviously they refused delivery, which is fair enough. You know, it's not a complete delivery, and you know, a good number of tins had paint on them anyway. So got back to, I wrapped up the pallet, put all the tins back on the pallet, wrapped it properly, probably more than I should have done. You know, thinking I don't want this to go over again on the 2 miles back to the yard. And yeah, so when I got back to the yard, the guy who unloaded me was like, because obviously what happened is it's actually spilled over the back edge of the truck on the bed. So obviously when the shutters close, you can still see the paint. And then of course, got back to the yard. I said, "You ready for this?" He was like, "Yeah, go on." I hit the back of the truck and I was like, "Look at that! Look at the state of that!" And he's like, "Oh, you cleared it up?" I was like, "Yeah, that's why it's so long." It's like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So yeah, he took that pallet of paint off and took the bags, the dead ones away. Said, "Do you want me to go and deliver the 3 remaining pallets?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I delivered them, went back to the yard, and he come back because I had a couple of pallets to take off. He come back and I opened the back door again. He just laughed. He's like, "Don't worry about it." He's like, "It's happened before." He says, "It ain't gonna be the last time either." So yeah. And then today I had some paint as well. Not as many, but I had some paint today. Thankfully they didn't go over, so all good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little story. Hope you got a bit of a laugh out of it as well, because I was not happy bunny on Friday, I have to say. I was pleased to get home and get a cold beer, I must admit. But yeah, that was not one of my finer moments, but I'm sure things like that will happen again in future. I did put a post on Facebook on the HGV drivers group, picture. I obviously put the picture up that you've just seen, and yeah, they all come out the woodwork and said, "Oh, look what I've done this before, look at this." So yeah, definitely not the only one. Never mind. Anyway, I'm not far from home now, so I'm going to end this video here. I know it's been a bit of a weird video. Most of it's been me talking and stuff, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? So yeah, if you want to get into HGV driving, do understand that things like that will happen every so often, unless you're absolutely perfect, in which case go away. No, don't really subscribe. But yeah, as I say, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Obviously don't forget to like and subscribe for more content, which will be coming to you very, very soon, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. So yeah, I'll see you later.